Rayne Wright and her coach/dad, Rasheed Wright. Welcome to the center of the universe, and Virginia is for sports.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
I'm excited. You guys just won the state championship, what, about a month ago? A little less or a little more than a month ago, maybe?
Yes, March 9th, a little more than a month, yes.
All right, cool. So, Rayne, I guess the first question is, what's it like being the oldest daughter of four daughters?
There's a lot of pressure put on you by the whole family, really, but it's kind of great when everyone's looking up to you and wants to be like you. So
awesome. And what are the ages of your sisters?
12, 8, and 6.
There's a lot going on in the house. You feel like
yeah.
You feel like a parent sometimes?
Yes.
We don't know what we'll do without her.
Right. It's always good to have a mature sibling, that's for sure, to help out with the younger ones. Cool. How old were you when you started playing basketball?
Jeez. Ever since I can remember, really, I couldn't really tell you an exact age.
Do you did you go into it because dad couldn't wait for you to play basketball, or did you gravitate to it, or both? I
think my parents really just threw me into sports and see like how far I'm gonna go in it. And I wanted to play in college, and once he heard that, he's been pushing me ever since. So,
how old were you when you said that?
Maybe like 5th grade, middle school, around there. Yeah.
Did you have a lot of friends that were saying that at that age?
Well, Mia was definitely, everyone knew she was going to go somewhere. So it's like, I was always been around like good basketball players. So I just levitated towards that.
And you said sports plural. So what other sports did you play coming up?
Softball.
Okay. But you're not playing that anymore.
No, I was an All-American in softball, but I quit in like my freshman year or my 8th grade year just to focus on basketball. So,
how do you become an All-American and you stop the sport in 9th grade?
I fell out of love with it, really, and then my main focus needed to be on basketball if I wanted to go to college for it. So,
do you have to declare where you're going or commit to where you're going, at least verbally, soon, or have you already done that?
No, not really anytime soon. I do want to commit before next high school season, but I have time during this AAU season to think about it. So.
Okay, and you're effectively being recruited now by a bunch of schools. Sounds like.
Yeah.
Do you have a top 5 at the moment, or do you not want to say?
I haven't thought that deeply into it yet, but I have some schools in mind.
I will say that the University of Virginia is a fantastic school, Rayne. You should seriously think about UVA.
Okay.
Is that where you went?
It's exactly where I went, and I love good basketball, men's and women's. So, yeah. Cool. All right, so it's been basketball year-round. Your dad described from a coach's perspective what it's like to be a coach year-round. What's it like to be a player after your junior season winning the state championship? Describe the last 12 months, I guess, at a high level.
It's really nonstop. I mean, we've been working out every day, preparing for the state championship. We knew what it was going to take to get there. So we just put in hard work every day after school, continue to push ourselves to do our best. So it's really been nonstop. Even after the championship game, we've continued to work out.
So what's the most number of days that you haven't played basketball in a row in the last 12 months?
Maybe like 2 or 3 days after the championship game, just for like rest and stuff like that. But after,
it was like a week.
Yeah, it was like
after the state championship, you get 5 days, something like that.
Yeah.
The game was on the 9th. Yeah, so that whole week, the game was on the 9th, and then we went that whole week not doing anything with basketball. Then we started back up the following Monday.
Your dad's familiar with this term. I'm not sure you've heard it. Maybe you have. Your dad is and was a gym rat. Are you a gym rat?
I would say so. I don't really have a choice at all. So.
That's not true. She has a choice.
I told you you're going to be on 2 podcasts. One of them is going to be video plus audio. The other one's only audio. So the YouTube channel for the sports podcast, they'll get to see your reaction to that. That's good stuff. All right. So playing basketball that much, what do you enjoy about basketball? Because it's got to bring you joy, right?
Yes, I really just love mainly my teammates are the reason why it's like so fun. If you don't have a good team, it's not gonna be fun. But I really love those girls. So being around them, it's just a great environment.
So tell me about your teammates. And if you want to, you can talk about all of your teammates from your high school team, or you can talk about maybe the starting five plus maybe the first two or three young ladies that come off the bench, however you want to think about it. But shout them out by name if you don't mind, and share a little detail about who they are as a player and as a person, maybe.
I want to shout out really all the girls in the team, but mainly Finley, Mia, Leah, KK, Maya, all those girls. Well, besides Leah, I played against her in middle school, but all the rest of them were my teammates in middle school. So we really kind of grew up down the basketball road together. So I've just been used to playing with them, and they're really like family. So we push each other every day. And it's just been an amazing journey with them, especially winning the state championship this year.
How many of those girls are graduating this year?
We have 4 seniors in total that are graduating.
So are you guys going to be pretty good? Obviously, losing Mia and a couple of other folks is going to be tough, but are you guys ready to repeat?
Yes.
I tell Rayne all the time, her normal is abnormal. It is not normal to just happen to live in a neighborhood with kids that all do the same thing, and then they grow up through travel basketball in middle school and into high school. Like it's really fascinating to watch this development, and it's abnormal that you get to live that type of experience.
That's not how you and I grew up, right?
No, I mean, well, you grew up with your friends, but all of them didn't play on the same team with you, and you win a state championship. I mean, really, from 6th grade to now, I don't think Rayne has lost 15 games. And some of those girls have lost less than that. So they have not done a lot of losing since they've been in middle school. And they won a championship in middle school, some of them 2, and now they're champions in high school.
And you're obviously going up against really good competition to get to those championships, right?
Well, yes, but also, like I say this all the time, girls basketball is top heavy. So there's some girls who start really young and they practice at it a lot. So by the time they get 14, 15 years old, they're playing at a high level. And then you have some girls who kind of gravitate towards the game later on. So they're a little behind. So when we play against those teams that has those type of girls on it, it's very competitive games. But when we play against teams that don't have those type of girls on it, it gets really bad really fast.
Yeah, and it's probably not as fun to beat a team by 40, right?
No, we this year there was only one team that scored in the 60 points against us all season. We were really good defensively, and we played 27 games or 29 games. 19 of those games they didn't play in the fourth quarter because we were up by more than 30 points.
Wow. Yeah, that's a really good point around experience level. And so, yeah, if you're going to go up against your high school team, you got to come correct or you're going to get blown out.
Yes.
Yeah. So what are you known for, Rayne, when you're on the basketball court?
It's really, I really can do anything. I feel like mostly it's my defense. But I can also attack the basket and everything. But I'm really a team player. That's how I like playing and getting my teammates shots and stuff. So it's just all around, really.
Rasheed, were you like that when you were in high school?
No. As a matter of fact, one of my best friend, who was the point guard of my high school team, we talk almost every day. When he hears me talk about these philosophies of sharing the basketball and playing together and together is more, he's told me plenty of times, I wish that's how you thought in high school, because in high school, there wasn't a shot that I didn't like. And when you go to college, you kind of have to figure that out. And then as a professional, that same thing. I'm shooting the basketball. I'm a high volume shooter. But it wasn't until I got with a really good team that I had to sacrifice my game that I actually won, because I wasn't shooting for stats. I was shooting trying to win. And I actually got around winners and I learned how to win. And from that point on, my IQ of the game went to another place. And so that's what I teach them. So no, she's way more dynamic and her IQ is higher. She's more skilled. than I was as a player at the same age, for sure.
And it sounds like Rasheed, growing up, you maybe had different influences than Rayne did. Rayne has a coach for a dad, a guy who played for a long time professionally. That has to help Rayne out quite a bit, I imagine. But Rayne, you earn every bit of it, right? Because you're the one putting in the effort.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right, you both speak French. I'm not going to challenge you to speak French because how old were you when you guys left France, Rayne? How old were you?
When I came back, I was in the 4th grade.
Okay, you still speak a little bit of it,
Yes.
I imagine, or a lot of it maybe. Do you and Dad speak it in basketball or around the house?
Yes.
Okay.
She did this a couple of times in the season when she wanted to say something to me and she didn't want everybody to know what she was saying. She just switched languages. And probably when I get after her, my assistant coach told me this too. I have not mastered this yet because when I'm competing, I'm like, I turn into a werewolf a little bit. But my assistant coach was like, you know what? When you're getting on Rayne, you probably should say it in French. You know what I mean? So it's not so whatever, but haven't got there yet.
I will ask the obvious question. I think you got this question after you guys won the state championship. What's it like being coached by your dad? Is he tougher on you, or is he different in any way?
It's not my favorite thing, but I don't really have a choice, and you get used to it. He's always hard on me, but it's what's necessary to get where I want to go. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's all out of love, right?
Yeah.
No, for sure. Out of love. It's really challenging. It's probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, how to figure out how to be coach and dad, to be honest with you. Because, she has so much potential. I wanted her to do so well. And I've walked down this road so much that, but we're actually kind of at that space right now where like she's 16 and she's a young woman and she can do a lot of things on her own. She doesn't necessarily need dad for everything. And I'm actually learning through this process too.
Yeah, it's got to be a tough balancing act, right? Because you want to challenge her, but you also want to nurture her, and your dad, you love her, of course.
Yeah.
All right. So, how old were you, or what grade were you in when you said, "I want to be part of a state championship varsity high school team"?
I mean, honestly, when I decided to play basketball, I didn't know that was coming, like at all. When I decided to try out for Bailey Bridge, I mean, I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if I was going to make the team, how good everyone was. But once I got there, I fit right in, really. So it was on from there.
All right. So you guys went to the state championship your sophomore year, right? And you guys lost in a tough game. Did you guys commit like within minutes after that loss that you guys were going to be back and win the whole thing?
Yes, we just need to be more disciplined. That was our main focus, like the whole preseason of the next year. So once we got that down packed, we knew we were going right back to the state championship game.
And you're one of the leaders on the team, I'm guessing.
Yes.
How would you describe your leadership style?
I feel like the girls from middle school, they always looked up to me. So they always I had their back, they got my back. We all really understand what it takes to get to where we wanted to go. So it's just really motivating them to continue to do their best, and that I trust them. I trust what they can do on the court. And yeah, that's really it.
Are you a lead by example kind of player, or more of a rah-rah, or both?
I would say both.
Okay. Do you get really you show emotion when you play?
I think, yeah, definitely.
Your dad's shaking his head.
I mean, I tell people she's the most shy, aggressive person I've ever met in my life. I mean, she is a weird balance of you can't tell what she's thinking, and then in moments it will come out like roar, like, you know what I mean? So it's difficult for me too to kind of figure out where she is sometimes just based off her expression. But yeah, she's a little bit of both.
Okay. Favorite memory from this past season besides winning the state championship?
Jeez.
It can be off the court, it can be on the court, but something related to basketball. Dad can help out if he needs to.
Please, because
favorite memory.
Did you hit any game-winning shots?
Not this.
We're blowing everybody
Yeah,
out.
I was
Man.
not this season.
I mean,
You didn't have a close game all year.
except for our 2 losses.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, I don't think we beat everybody else by double digits. There was no close games. I'll say one. I'll say Madison Smith. Not one particular moment, but freshman on our team this year, really talented. Came into the season with a lot of potential, and then struggled the first half of the season. And so we kind of worked with her to get her, maybe the lights got a little bit too bright for her, but just to see her soar from the middle of the season, really from our Christmas tournament on into the state championship game, like the growth that she had, I mean, that was awesome. That's one of my takeaways. But I think it's kind of difficult for Rayne to come up with a moment because, man, we were so focused. I mean, like, I asked them for 4 months of sacrifice and commitment. I mean, let's talk on the phone less. Let's hang out less. Like, all of us, like, we really, like, just dialed into, like, being better every day. We had our labs here and there, but this was a business season.
Yeah, and Rasheed, I don't know you that well, but I think all of your coaching efforts are serious, not a lot.
I would have to agree with you on that.
Yeah. Any highlights from the playoffs, or walk me through the playoffs as you guys won the state championship? How many games did you play in the playoffs?
6.
So it's kind of like the NCAA tournament.
Yes. We beat, who's the last team we played?
Center?
No, before in the last regular season game.
Oh.
Whoever we played the last regular season game, we had a meeting. We do this before every playoffs. We do it before the season too. We have 22 games. We map out the 22 games. The games that we know we're going to win, the games that could be challenges, and we try to come up with a goal and see how close we can get to that goal at the end of the regular season. At the end of the regular season, we go back into the film room, and I wrote on the board 6 wins. It's going to take 6 wins, and we just, started strategically just dissecting our opponents. And so the first game was Woodson. I'm just gonna be honest. Like, I'm this is not me trying to. It's just the truth is we played at another level this year, and we knew that everybody was in trouble. It was, we were relentless. We were not like we beat Woodson 60-something to 20-something. The next round we won by 50 or 60. We beat what's the school that came up from Oscar Smith, 83 to 13.
Oh gosh.
I mean, we knew that the state championship was going to go through Thomas Dale. Let me say it that way. We knew that was our only competition in the state was Thomas Dale. So as we got ready, as we prepared for each game during the season, we really we knew that's what it was going to come to. When it came down to playing them, we studied them. We were prepared for them. And the funny thing about Thomas Dale is that when we first got home, their best player, Nala Wilson, played for Wales association team. So Rayne played against her as a 4th grader. And then I was coaching her rec team the 5th grade year, and we lost to them in the championship game of the rec. And then that turned into them competing 2 years, I think, in a row in the championship game in middle school. So her 7th grade year, she lost. 8th grade year, she won. And then so it's just the same thing that has happened ever since elementary school. So we were focused on that, not everybody else.
Let's go back to playing in college. You're definitely going to play in college. You're going to choose a school where you're going to be challenged and play well, and all the things you're looking for in a college and a team for that college. Are you being looked at, or are you looking at schools across the country, or are you thinking mostly East Coast or Mid-Atlantic area?
I really don't have a preference right now. It doesn't really matter, in my opinion, where the school's at, because I know they're going to come to games no matter what. So it's really about the fit and how they play, how the coaches are.
Rasheed, do you want her to be close to where you live right now?
No, I want her to be in the best situation possible. And like the way she looks at college, playing in college is a little different because she didn't grow up. When she got here, she was 10, right? So all like the March Madness, all that stuff was very new to her, right? Like she didn't grow up like your traditional American kid. So if you say Power 5 or ACC or Pac-12, like that really doesn't mean a lot to her as far as this is this type of school, right? So a lot of that she's still learning, which I think there is this power in not knowing all that stuff, right? But she's learning more and more and more, and I think that she'll really be able to make the best choice for her and not based off the status of a school or anything like that.
Rayne, does it factor in at all that your dad went to ODU? Does ODU get a little more consideration because dad went there?
No.
Or mom, for that matter?
No, not really. I honestly would rather go my own path, not just like because they went there. But I mean, it doesn't really affect anything.
So, Rasheed, I asked you about did you track the NBA when you were in France? And your answer was kind of, but not really. Rayne, WNBA has exploded the last couple of years. The Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark thing that happened last year, pretty compelling TV. And if you're a fan of the sport of basketball, it was fun to watch. Dawn Staley, who is a UVA grad, we claim her for sure because she's such an amazing coach, and she's a better person, I think. And so she's been a fun story to follow as well. Are you excited for women's basketball in general? Because I think it's more popular in the U.S. now than it's ever been.
I am. I think they have a lot of more opportunities than they used to have. So it's really endless, like things that you can like take from college, especially in the women's basketball now. So it's unbelievable what the girls have created for the younger generation to come up behind them.
Yeah, and you played in France too, right? When you were much younger.
Yes.
Was the game different or coaching different? I guess that question's for both of you.
Yes, I feel it's a lot more attention to detail over there, and they're a lot more discipline and definitely it's more team basketball. Like with just 1v1 is like not really a thing over there at all.
They play in basketball clubs. I think it's one of the advantages that they have over American basketball. So there is no rec, there is no I-9, there is no AAU, there is no middle school, there is no high school basketball. If you want to play basketball or any sport, you have to join a club. And so you go to school, practices are in the evenings, and at the top of that club sits the professional team. And so under that, you go 18, 17, 16, you even got like a adult league. Like the club almost embodies the city. Like the volunteers are the people who actually make the club run. You have a president. It's set up more like an association. And so it goes all the way down to the baby basket. And so it's really way more attention to practicing footwork, using both hands, using both feet, and then you play a game on the weekend.
It sounds like America could learn from that.
Yes. So my organization, Pro Skills Basketball, is we model the international brand of basketball because it's a marathon, not a sprint. It's the continuous teaching. And if you look at the NBA right now, the last 4 MVPs were not born in America, right? And it's happening more and more and more. The guys from overseas are coming here with a better basketball IQ. They know how to play within the team concept. They're more skilled. Their footwork is better. And I want us in the United States to get with the program so that our kids are not losing opportunities because they don't know how to play the game and they only know one style.
Yeah, and look, I'll use Caitlin Clark, and I don't mean this to be negative, but she's known for scoring, right? Yeah. And she never won a national championship. I'm not saying they're correlated or cause and effect sort of thing, but it makes you wonder that if there was maybe a little more team basketball, and to use your this notion of European basketball and maybe other places, not Europe or America, where they're a little more disciplined. And I don't know if you guys, Rayne, you're too young to remember this, but the San Antonio Spurs were basically all international players. They hardly had any Americans, and they always made not just one extra pass, but 2 extra passes, and they would get wide open shots all the time, and they won 4 championships that way.
Well, that's one of the things that we do. Like we one of the things I teach, especially when they were little, the difference between a good shot and a great shot. So we're hunting great shots. And when you're hunting great shots, that means that on any particular night, somebody else could have 15 points because they're the person that's open. And now in practice, we're working on skill and working on the players, all of our players being able to make shots, right? If Rayne, for example, was taking 30 shots a game, the defense would just collapse on her, put boxing 1, 2 defenders. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So she could have averaged more points this year. Our big could have averaged more points this year, but we would not have been the same caliber team. And I think talking to a lot of college coaches, that's one of their big things. They're getting talented kids that come to them that don't know how to play within a team concept. So for me, I want to make sure that the kids that leave our program understand how to play in a team concept. And one big difference between international basketball and basketball here is money, right? Once you start putting a whole lot of money into something, and I hope this does not happen to the women's game, you're going to lose the essence of the game. Because right now, the entertainment value of the women's game shot up. That's why people are watching. Caitlin Clark making the shots that she's making is must-see TV, right? So in order for the ladies to make more money, more people are going to have to watch this game. And you're going to need players like Caitlin Clark to put on shows. Well, in Europe, the money is not the same. Like players can make good money over there, but like I tell you, it's an association. It's the stores in the cities that are dominating money in the. So if you live in Paris, the club might have more money to pay players than a club that's in a smaller city. So it's apples and oranges when it comes to that.
Is there a player, Rayne, that you think you have a very similar game to in the college level or WNBA? And Dad/coach, you can answer that one too. You might have a different perspective.
I don't know if I have a similar game to anyone. I know he wants me to mimic Juju Watkins' game. But I'm not sure if I have a similar game to any college girl right now. So
I think the way she plays the game is how I see the game, right? I think like on our high school team, we don't have positions. Like if somebody asks them their positions, they're going to say whatever they're going to say. I'm a point guard, I'm a combo guard. But I've never called them that in practice or in games. We have 2 ball handlers, we have 2 runners, and we have a rim runner. So I teach them how to play basketball in the position they are in on the floor. It makes them much harder to guard, much more dynamic. So I show her parts of different players' games, right? Not so much because you can't be somebody else. I love Michael Jordan. I watch a lot of his game. I'm not Michael Jordan, but that's why I play the way I play. I want her to be well-rounded, and I think she kind of looks at the game that way.
Yeah, that's great advice and a great approach to the game. Yeah, because it can be limiting the way basketball has traditionally been coached and played here. Rayne, can you give me a top 10 schools you're looking at? Because you seem really relaxed. And I was talking to Marley Gaskin. I think y'all know each other. I know Rasheed and Chris know each other.
You were teammates.
Okay, so Marley said she's going to Florida State, and a part of the rationale for declaring as quickly or as early as she did was to not sweat it anymore. But it doesn't seem like you're sweating it.
Yeah, I'm just open to any opportunities that coaches give me. I'm not narrowing anything down. I'm just open to anything.
No, that's really cool. UVA does have a team.
She actually, there's a young lady there named Kamora Johnson, who, when I was still playing overseas, she actually met, and they probably don't know each other at all. But there was a camp at Monticello High School that my wife's former teacher, who went to Tech, ran, and so we went there one summer. I would speak at these camps during the summer. Rayne might have been like 3rd grade age, maybe a couple years before we came back here. And Kamora Johnson was there, and she was a 5th grader. I remember seeing this girl who was killing the boys, the girls, and everybody else. She didn't even stay the whole camp because she was going to play AAU with the boys. Wow. That was Kamora Johnson. Yep.
Well, you talk about playing against the boys. One of the things Dawn Staley did at South Carolina, I don't know how long she's been doing it. She would have young men playing defense against her team basically all season long, and she gave them rings along with that, which I think it's a really cool concept, and it probably helped them quite a bit.
Yeah, we did that last year, going in the playoffs. our varsity team scrimmaged the JV boys in Manchester. When she was younger, I was working at a training facility. She played against boys all the time. I think that's one of the best things that young girls can do is play against boys because it's just a different speed, a different physicality. Then once they get in a setting where it's all girls, the girls who have done that, it gives them an advantage.
Yeah, absolutely.
And ODU did that too when I was there.
Say that again.
ODU did that. The girls team
Yeah.
at ODU did that when I was there as well.
That's smart.
Yeah,
that's really smart. Rayne, how much taller is Dad than you?
About maybe 6 inches. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How old will you be when you can take him one-on-one? I know we're talking about team, but one-on-one still.
He's going to say never.
Yeah, he answered the question. I'm just curious to the answer.
Not sure.
Well, that's awesome. Hey, Coach, I think I told y'all we do about 30 minutes tonight. We're a little over 30 minutes. I appreciate you jumping on and doing this. Any predictions or goals for next year?
Get back to the state championship
and win it.
Yep.
Yes. I at the end, after we celebrate every year or we bring a season to the end, I say this to all the players and all the parents, and I'm very sincere every time I say it. We're going to raise the bar. So we won a state championship this year. We're going to raise the bar. So whatever that looks like, we're going to improve because there's always room for improvement.
Is there ever an opportunity to play state champions from other states?
I wish. Well, she played with the number one player in the country last year, Sarah Strong. Just committed to UConn. Her dad is Danny Strong, played at NC State. He played in France too. Her mom works with the Celtics. One of my teammates, Tony Dobbins, that played at the University of Richmond. He's an assistant coach there. He was my teammate overseas. I used to babysit her. But there's a reason why I was saying that.
States playing each other is what we're talking
about. Yes. So there's something called Chipotle Nationals, where like the top teams ranked in the country were able to play a tournament. I don't know where they were this year, but it was on TV. It was on ESPN. So if we ended the season ranked 25 in the country, if we can have a solid season and end up a little higher in there, maybe we'll get invited to one of those national tournaments and play against other teams in the country.
That'd be really cool.
Yes. Yes.
Well, Rayne, I wish you all the best, all the luck in the world, and keep grinding and getting better at the game. And I can't wait to watch you at the next level.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Take care.
All right. See y'all.
See you.